I had just put the design up of my little bird, and then I was telling you that I was going to put 2 coats of gesso on. So what I've done is I've rounded up my tray. I've got a blob of gesso that I've squirted out. It looks just like white paint, although it's a little bit different consistency. And then I have 3 brushes ready. This is a small image. If I was doing the giraffe right now, I would actually have a thicker brush as well. So I've got a square, I think it's a 1/2 inch brush. And then I've got a detail brush, and I've just got a small round brush. So anytime I go into a little kind of difficult area, I want to use one of my other brushes. I have a little bit of water down here because if I switch brushes, I don't want my brushes to get gesso dried on them. That's very important. So if I'm changing for a long time, for example, if I were doing the zebra and I were going to start using the big brush for a long time and I had just used the little one, I would just plop the little one in the water just to leave it. I've got a cloth or a little piece of paper towel that I can just quickly dry it with when I need it. So that's what I've got. My system is to actually start off with all 3 brushes. Some people need to stop and go back and forth with the brushes, but I'm going to start off with all 3 brushes. I'm going to climb up here. And the little tiny bird has a little tuft at the very top of it, and so I'm going to start with my detail brush. That's always a little easier. Get the detail done first. And it's going on just like white paint. I'm going to do the feet, little claws. I'm already going out of the lines, and I'm not going to worry about that too much. I can see my pencil lines, and that's actually something that can really vary again with the kind of paint you've got on, what's underneath it. Sometimes the pencil lines can be very, very faint, and sometimes they can be quite pronounced. And it's up to you whether you want to have an outline. So people sometimes prefer just to block in color. Now you can see I've changed to my larger brush, and I'm keeping my one handy here because I might need it again very shortly, so I'm not going to stick it in water. As I start to paint the head of the bird, this is why it's important to have a square brush, because you can use the side of the square to go right up against the line. Right? So I'm just going right flat against it. And I'm painting right over the eyes. All I want to do is fill in the whole bird with this gesso primer. Okay, so I'm following the line of the head right down here, covering up those eyes. Now I'm going up into here, so put that brush down, back to my little one, and just to be nice and neat, I'm going in with that one. Going on the side with the big one at this point, out here. And I'm not sure if the video shows this clearly, but even though I'm going over the lines, I'm not covering them up. It's translucent. And that's the thing with acrylic paint, even with gesso, it's translucent or transparent, so the image will come through. Now this one, I don't have to get my little brush. I'm going to just try and be very nice and neat here. And if I go over, you know what, it's not the end of the world. You're not going to see it too much. Alright, I'm just about done here. Now, in a minute, we're going to pause the video because I'm going to let this dry and I'm going to do a second coat. And you can ask yourself, if you're doing this, whether you want an outline or not. That's what we're going to be talking about next. Because some people just like to paint all flat color and not worry about an outline, and others want to have an outline. So once we're ready to get to that next step, I'll be back.